Well, as our population ages, more and more services will be needed for older Americans. On Thursday, June the 2nd, the Oasis Conference Center will be the host for a symposium called The Cutting Edge of Elder Care, Global Approaches to Serve Elders in Our Own Community, and that will bring together international experts on care for seniors. Keynote speaker, by the way, is Eloy van Hal of the Netherlands, who has more than 20 years of experience in managing nursing home and elder care. Organizing this event is Dennison Keller, a longtime friend of mine and a lawyer who specializes in elder care. Dennison, how are you?
I'm good, Betsy. It's good to see you again. It's been a long time.
It has been. Full disclosure, Dennison and I worked together in another lifetime back at Channel 5. So Dennison has been a friend of mine for quite some time. And I have known about his interest in elder care since, I guess, really when you got into law school. This was something that you were interested in. So before we start talking about the event itself, let's talk about elder care as it pertains to lawyers, attorneys, legal things. When we talk about elder care, we kind of focus on the health and the medical part of it, but your focus is on how you protect them legally. So let's first talk about that. Why is it so important to make sure that elders are protected legally?
You know, the funny thing is, Betsy, that elder law has been around, probably about 25 or 30 years now, I want to say. And yet it's still a very new kind of field of law, and not a lot of people have heard about it. I mean, and you'll get this joke. I mean, this has happened to me on 3 different occasions. I would say, hi, I'm Dennison. Hi, I'm Betsy. Nice to meet you. What do you do? I'm a lawyer. The next question, obviously, is what kind of law do you practice? And I do elder law. And I've got this puzzled look looking back at me. And they've said, and I'm not making this up, you mean you only handle clients from elder high school? Truly, that's happened. I'm not making that up, on 3 different occasions. Okay.
I can absolutely see that.
I think I look good in purple, but maybe not quite that good. But no, elder law basically means you handle clients who are predominantly senior citizens. Almost all my clients are senior citizens. And, if you think about just the healthcare system in general, every single entity in the healthcare system has a lawyer. Your doctor has a lawyer, your hospital and nursing home, assisted living facility, they've got a lawyer. The insurance companies that cover the hospital and the facility, they have lawyers. The only person who doesn't have one is who? The elder, the resident, until something goes horribly wrong. Right. And then they want to hire a lawyer to go sue somebody. And so our approach is something just kind of a little bit different. And that is, let's see if we can advocate for your rights on the front side, and your care, most importantly, on the front side of whatever you're going through and whatever part of the continuum you're on. So it nips any problem in the bud, so it doesn't blow up into something that results in a lawsuit. And we think that we've had a lot of success in doing that over the past almost 15 years I've had the firm.
The Cutting Edge of Elder Care coming up on June the 2nd. So first of all, who is your audience? Who do you think is going to benefit from this? And what will we learn there?
I think the audience is twofold. Caregivers, professional and non-professional. I mean, that's really the thrust of it. Those who are on the professional realm, nurses and social workers and hospital administrators and such, they can earn CEU credits, continuing education credits for the event. But also, and we had this great debate, do we want to, leave it just to the professionals, or should we open it up to, the kind of the general public? And finally, we decided, we think the general public, if you have a parent that you're trying to care for, or a spouse you're trying to care for, they could learn a lot in this program too. Not just in how differently some cultures care for elders, but also how they can care for their own loved one and approach their own situation. Kristen Cooley is a fantastic social worker, and she's going to be talking about, some of the hidden signs of dementia, the unspoken signs of dementia. I think everybody realizes, okay, my mom or dad's getting a little forgetful. But there are also behavioral traits that might pop up even before those types of common symptoms that we all are aware of. And she's going to, reveal situations on that. We've got Dr. Jennifer Heston Mullen, who is a scholar at Miami University's Script Gerontology Center. She has developed this program and done a lot of research on it, on a pilot program called Our Family, Our Way. And the idea behind that is she's developed a series of questionnaires that families are to fill out together, so they all get on the same page on how we should care for our parent. A lot of times in these situations, family resentment kind of bubbles up because oftentimes it falls on one child, oftentimes the oldest daughter, not always, but oftentimes. And then, that can work negatively in two different ways. One is the oldest daughter starts to feel resentment that, hey, nobody else is helping around here. On the other hand, some of the other kids who like to step in and say, well, every time we do, we're kind of cut off by the older daughter who kind of exercises that veto power. So coming up with a plan to begin with to carry out the care going forward, and she's going to be talking about that. So there's a lot of different avenues where both the professionals and also just the general public can learn from the symposium. I'm really excited about it.
Well, as we mentioned, there will be an international panel of experts who will be part of this. Eloy Van Hal is one of them, the keynote speaker, and he has been nationally, internationally recognized for his unique approach to older patients, especially dementia patients. Tell us a little bit about him.
We think this is the first gathering of its kind in Cincinnati, where you have a panel of local, national, and international experts all in one room, all on the same day, talking about nothing but elder care and how to improve care for the elders in our community. So that's why we're really excited about it. And of course, the headline of that is Eloy Van Hal, as you mentioned. He has developed what's called the Hogeveen, which is outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And he looked at the way that, frankly, not just Western cultures, but a lot of the world treats dementia patients. And if you look at dementia facilities around the world, typically they are in a standalone building where there is a dementia floor or a wing, right? That is locked, that is secure for obvious reasons. I mean, dementia patients tend to wander, and that creates a whole different, set of problems for them. And so he was looking and from the perspective of, well, if I look outside my window and it's a beautiful day, it doesn't matter if I forget who my family might be. I still can recognize it's a beautiful day. I might want to go outside. And so he developed a village. It's called the Dementia Village. It's a very large, sprawling complex. It's still secure. And so the way it's designed, mitigates the wander risk. Yet a dementia patient can walk not just out of the room, but off the floor, out the front door. They can go take a walk. There's this fountain. There is a soda shop, an ice cream shop. They can go get some ice cream. They can go to a grocery store. They're trying to make normal life continue for the dementia resident, even though their health is anything but normal. And it's remarkable if you see, the videos of this complex. It really is awe-inspiring. And it'll be wonderful to hear him talk about his experience because, it's been around for over a decade now, and it'll be wonderful to hear him, relay what his experiences have been. And he's gone from that, and people have recognized that the value of that to being a consultant on such projects across the globe.
Yeah. And Dennison, there's a new law in Ohio that really helps families monitor what's going on in facilities. Tell us a little bit about that.
There is, Betsy. It's called Esther's Law. It's really new. I mean, officially came on the books on March 23rd here in Ohio. And what that allows is families to place a camera inside their loved one's nursing home room. And, there's been a great debate of the merits and the pros and cons of that. Of course, families love it and want it because they want to, be able to see how their loved ones being cared when they're not there. understandably so, facilities are very nervous about it because they're afraid whatever video that is captured is going to be used as a gotcha aha moment for a lawsuit. But nevertheless, the Ohio legislature and Governor DeWine signed it, and families do have that ability now to do so. So we're having a discussion on that. We have Sydney Perrin, who is an attorney at Dinsmore. She focuses on healthcare law, and she's going to be talking about how this is going to be implemented and what both facilities and families can expect as we move forward with it.
This has been a passion of yours, I think, ever since I've known you. Where does this come from? Why is this such a passion project, elder care, for you?
Well, I appreciate you asking. It's kind of a long answer. To be perfectly honest, I tell this story to clients who come in because it is always a question, how'd you go from being in television news to being an elder law attorney? And truth be told, when I was young, I used to be kind of young and brash and cocky and on TV and thought I was kind of the bee's knees and looked at elders accordingly. I was never outwardly disrespectful, but my attitude was kind of, move it, Grandpa. I'm trying to get to work at the TV station, right? And then lo and behold, and you'll appreciate this because you never know, being a journalist, you never know where these interviews are going to just open your eyes and wake up your life. And I was in Youngstown, Ohio, doing a story on fruitcakes around Christmas time. And which shows you the hard-hitting journalist that I was. I was in Youngstown, Ohio, and I walk into this diner and I'm talking to this guy, and he is in his early to mid 90s. And this was 1993. All right. And somehow he gets to telling the story that when he would get sick with congestion as a child, his mother would go out and pick up the horse droppings off the road in front of his house and bring them in and boil them up a little bit and smear those on his chest. And that was his mother's remedy for congestion. And I'm looking at him exactly the same way you're looking at me. But then, and it wasn't instantaneous, it was just over time. I started to do the math in my head. I'm like, okay, this is 1993. This guy's in his early to mid 90s. The period of the story he's telling me was late 1800s. I guess that made sense then. Who knows, right? And I thought, man, this one guy has gone from this to seeing all the advancements of medicine. This one guy saw the beginning of car travel, and then saw the beginning of air travel, and then saw men go to the moon, and then saw the beginning of the computer age. And I just started to really develop a healthy appreciation of the wisdom one accumulates after 7, 8, 9, 10 decades on the planet. That morphed into me becoming ashamed of my youthful, cocky arrogance and really getting irritated when I had to go do a news story about some Yahoo who took advantage of a guy like the one on the stool. And so that just kind of evolved into my, passion for elder law. And I practice it right from the moment I became an attorney. And it's just wonderfully fulfilling, rewarding work. It's interesting. We get wonderful thank you notes from clients and families and such. Not a one of them have to do with how much money we save the family, right? They all have to do with thank you for guiding us through the care maze. You made a difference in my mom's quality of life on her last days on this earth, and that's hugely rewarding. Mm-hmm. So that's where the passion comes from. I mean, once you work in the field and the business a little bit, it's easy to develop a passion for it. That's for sure. Yeah. My dad used to produce Miss America pageants, Ohio and Texas and whatnot, and so I kind of grew up around people of all stripes and artists and gays and such. And I've had 2 gunkles since the day I was born. And yet, even working in elder law, I was a little blind. I had a blind spot when it came to senior issues as it affects LGBTQ folks. And that, this generation, until I saw a documentary about it at an elder care conference. The generation of elders we're talking about certainly did not have the benefits of gay marriage. Therefore, they're not married. They don't have children. They don't have anybody to help them and care for them as they age. And not only that, if they do go seek out help, they're always nervous about the reaction they're going to get. And so a lot of times they'll, hide who they are just to get admittance to a facility because they're afraid A, they won't get into the facility, or B, they'll get kicked out.
The cutting edge of elder care. Tell us a little bit about the symposium, how we can find out more about it.
Our website, which is elderlawcincinnati.com, one big long word, Cincinnati spelled out, elderlawcincinnati.com, and a little pop-up will come up and you can register right there online if you want.
Excellent. We will do that. Dennison, it is always fascinating to talk to you and see you again. And what a great project this is. Thursday, June 2nd at the Oasis Conference Center. It is called The Cutting Edge of Elder Care. Dennison, thank you so much. You take care now.
Thank you so much for your interest, Betsy.